What's up, Patreon?
What up?
What's up, Adrian?
As of recording, we have one patron. His name's Adrian
Tynan.
Why did you just Adrian?
He said Patreon.
I said, what's up, Patreon?
Yeah.
I heard what's up, Adrian, and I was like, oh, is Tynan like a
Adrian. Yeah.
little preview for what's coming
next week? Yeah.
We're gonna be doing Creed in 2 weeks.
But yeah, we're super excited that you guys are here. Whether you are consuming this currently and you're Tynan.
We know
he's not consuming this currently. But I mean currently in terms of some people may go back. They might become a patron in months and then go back and rewatch old videos.
Yeah, no, I assume that if anybody becomes a patron, they'll go back to get the content that they're paying for.
Yeah, that's what I would assume too. So that's who I'm talking to. Like if you're watching this currently or way after the fact.
So welcome to the future.
Well, no, this is the past for them.
Regardless,
I'm welcoming you to their future.
Okay.
Regardless, we're about to go into another Fast and Furious movie, which is somehow
the future
and the past all at the same time.
Fast and Furious started with them stealing DVD players and is still going on in year of our Lord 2023. I haven't seen a DVD player in 12 years.
Oh God, it has to be longer than that.
No,
haven't seen.
I mean, I guess I see a DVD player every day because my Xbox can play DVDs.
Yeah.
But not like a DVD player.
But a dedicated DVD player?
When was the last time you had a DVD player?
I think my parents have one.
Yeah, my parents have one as well. But I haven't used it.
I don't think either sets of my parents have a DVD player. Yeah. I'm 99% certain neither of them do.
I know my grandpa has a DVD player.
My dad is a very funny combination of like tech boomer, but also like knows how to use tech. He knows how to use it and just refuses. He'll just use the old stuff.
My grandpa has a combo DVD VHS player, so
nice. I think if my dad was allowed,
because he has so many VHSs,
he kept all the VHSs.
He has all his westerns, all that stuff still.
He still has all that.
Yeah, and those movies are like from the '60s. Like it's stuff Jake would watch.
Do you know what else though is weird about why my dad buys DVD players? He never used DVDs even when they were popular. He refused. We would buy he loved the Andy Griffith Show. We bought him 20 years ago. We bought Andy Griffith on DVD. Never once opened. It's probably still in the cellophane at my parents' house.
In the blister wrapping.
Yeah.
I mean, why would I choose to watch DVDs if I had the superpower to watch anything I can on demand on television?
That's true. I don't think at that time when I was 7 I realized that he had that superpower.
Whenever is convenient for television.
Wait, what do you mean?
Not convenient for you, but whenever's convenient for television, you can watch anything.
Because the thing is like you say like, Dad, I would like to watch this, and he'll get it to you within 3 business days.
Tomorrow.
That's true. It's not immediately. Like if he wanted to watch something now, he couldn't do that. But if he wanted to watch something within the next 3 days, he will definitely be able to do that.
Yeah, and he might have to wake you up at like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
No, my dad goes to bed pretty early and wakes up. I don't know what time he wakes up anymore. I don't live there anymore.
Like 1 a.m.
Yeah. He goes to bed at about 4 p.m. Wakes up at 1 a.m. to watch what he wants to on MeTV, which is a network that I didn't know about until my dad found it. It's Memorable Entertainment Television, and they show even older stuff than TV Land.
I love it.
Cool. Yeah.
Well, what do you guys say we jump into this app?
Let's do it.
Thanks, Patreon.
I'm ready to meet my maker. Are you?
Were you expecting Terrell? Catch me off guard? Me standing there waving a white flag. You ever heard the saying, the enemy of my enemy is my friend?
I don't have friends. I got family.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Rotten Potatoes, a podcast where 4 friends sit down and review movies that you absolutely should have seen already, but at least one of us hasn't. My name is Scott, and I am here with 3 of my best friends in the whole wide world.
My name is Jake.
My name is Zach. I'm Tyler.
and today we are reviewing movie number 7 of the greatest saga of all time,
Can I?
the Fast Saga.
Before
Not
we
to be
get-
confused with F9, the Fast Saga.
Oh yeah, that's true. I before we get into it, did Dom just confirm that he doesn't have a Facebook? He
That's
said he
correct.
doesn't have any
Does
friends.
Yeah.
not have Facebook.
He does have MySpace though.
Yeah,
He does
because he has a top 8.
He has a top 8. There is Familia.
that's true. His top 8 is his family, but I think
Salute me, Familia.
I think that we can confirm that I was right in the last Fast episode. He does not have a Facebook.
I think we can confirm. You were right. You were right all along. He
I-
definitely doesn't have Facebook.
Yeah, I've gotten a couple texts that people really liked me yelling about Dominic Toretto's Facebook. So if you want to get me that worked up again, I think go for it.
I still think he has a Facebook.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get me on that one again.
You're going to have to find something new out of this app.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why I nominated it is because
I think we can skip that segment for this one.
is because I signed, sealed, and delivered us into this year's picks.
Do you know what I hate? I was thinking about this on the drive over here. Like, I'm not only like, are we like, after a while I thought, oh, we're going to
Search Jurassic Park first.
Yeah, please.
Just, we know what you're going to do.
After a little while, I thought, oh, we're finally getting good at doing this podcast. We're getting good at doing Fast episodes. Like,
We are
specifically.
We are getting really good at it.
Yeah, this is the 7th time I've done a Fast and Furious episode. Like,
This year.
I'm practiced on this, and that's I resent you a little bit for that.
Have we hit the 10,000 hour rule yet?
No.
We're not like fast experts then.
FedEx, as some might call it.
Wasn't it the mean nickname they gave to the youngest kid in Cheaper by the Dozen?
Yeah, you're right. It was. It was. That's correct. We are not experts at this. In fact, I feel like I am just barely getting the ropes of Fast and Furious at this point.
Yeah. We're on the back half, you know.
Yeah, but I still feel like I'm just like my knees are barely above water.
Like we're like 5 minutes left in the third quarter.
Yeah, and it feels like there's a long way to go.
I have a question
It's a
for
close
you.
game. It's gonna be an uphill battle.
In
How many more sports commentary idioms and nonsenses can we throw into this?
in the next couple of years, are you going to nominate the remaining Fast movies again? Like, how are you going to handle that?
Oh yeah, Scott accidentally, while you guys were out of the room, typed Furious 78, and
then I
that
said-
just as a typo. And I was like, oh, Furious 78, and Scott said, God, I can't wait.
Scott, I think just now doomed us to talking about Fast and Furious movies for the rest of our lives.
We're going to have to rebrand as Rotten Furious or
Yeah.
something like that.
Furious potatoes.
Furious Potatoes and Furious 7 both sound like westerns to me.
Or Fate of the Potatoes.
I'm into both
Faithful
of those.
Potatoes, the potato saga.
Fateful Potatoes.
Potato 9. the Fingerling Saga.
That's what we're calling season 9. I will remember this.
The Fingerling 9 sounds like a gang.
No.
Oh, the Potato 9.
Yeah.
Well, we could name season 4, which is what we're in, after the 4th one, which is just taking out the thes and using an ampersand. So we'll be rotten in potatoes.
We're not the Rotten Potatoes.
No, we're just,
Or podcast. We're dropping all of that.
yeah, it's just rotten ampersand potatoes.
Oh, there's a new ampersand.
Yeah.
I would like to go back to a question that was asked during Ready Player One. What clan would I be in? I would be in the Fingerling 9 in Ready Player One.
What's the clan tag for that?
F9.
F9.
Oh, okay, nice.
Or Fing. F-I-N-G, Fing.
I like Fing a lot. That's what I imagined it was
I
going to
think
be.
FNG9.
Yeah?
Fing 9. Yeah.
Oh,
Lose the
okay.
I.
Yeah. Why 9 though? What is Fingerling 9? What?
Ask Jake. He's the one who just said
I
it.
thought that Scott said Fingerling 9 and not Potato 9.
Oh, okay, got it.
But that name kind of goes hard.
Fingerling 9?
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely sounds like some sort of crazy disease that Vin Diesel in another movie would heroically save the world from.
Like in The Last Witch Hunter?
I think I'm gonna
More
add.
so in Triple X, but
Okay.
yeah. Also,
I'm just
also
gonna
Last
add a
Witch Hunter.
tier to our Patreon. That's one step more,
Oh,
and it's gonna be limited to 9 people, and we're gonna
The
call them
Fingerling
the
9.
Fingerling 9.
the Fingerling 9.
Yeah.
Ethan,
All right.
how much will you charge for that one?
Who's to say?
I don't know.
Can we do a one-time thing?
Like a one-time gift.
Yeah, one-time contribution to Patreon gets you a lifetime at this
Fingerling
tier.
9.
I don't know. I can look into that.
Look into
Let's
that.
wait until we have some more patrons so that we'll actually have 9 people to do it.
I actually talked to someone this last weekend that said, "Oh, I'm gonna check your Patreon out, and I might do the bottom tier for a little bit."
I have as well.
This is not as cool, but a coworker, not really a coworker, she works very far away from me, but somebody that I know from work told me that she's been listening to our podcast, and I didn't even know that she knew that we had a podcast, so I don't even know how she found out about it.
Oh, it's because I tag all your socials and say @Amazon.
You know what? I don't.
Yeah, that's got
I'll have to edit that one.
that didn't register.
It did.
I'm like, oh,
They're
it
gonna
did, okay.
fire me soon, anyways. All right, cut all that out.
Just cut out that whole segment.
Yeah. I don't even
So
remember what we're saying.
So I actually ran into one of our tots the other day, and we were talking a little bit about Patreon, and this is going to be weeks after now when this comes out. But I ran into Clayton the other day, and he was talking about you guys and how much he loves listening to the pod still, and in particular that he works at a coffee shop, and he had run into Zach, your wife, Kate,
Mhm.
and his wife knows Kate.
Mhm.
Or Kate and his wife know each other, I should say. But he had never really met Kate before. And so he was like, oh, I sort of know you. Like, I know Zach, your husband, and blah, blah, blah. And Cassie, you know, my wife. And she was like, yeah, so wait, how do you know Zach? And he was like, well, I listened to the podcast. And she said, oh.
Oh, really?
You're a tot. This is in Clayton's description, and
Yeah.
he went, "Yes, I am." Like very proudly.
I know.
This is Clayton's description of the interaction, but she was in his eyes very, very disappointed that's how.
Doesn't surprise me.
2 things.
That's
One,
how he knew you.
really respect Kate for that. For just not respecting us at all. Total respect. 2, I know she doesn't listen, but do you think we could get Kate to come in and give us her side of that interaction?
To get her to come in, to get her to drive here.
We could go to her.
Oh,
Zach,
then yeah,
Zach
that's
could probably
easy.
video. We can throw it on Patreon.
Yeah.
There's a chance that she won't. She'll remember meeting Clayton. I don't know if she'll remember talking about the podcast with him.
Hmm.
Saying that she forgot about Clayton.
So
already.
no, she forgot about the podcast already.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So low. It's so low on her.
But also,
She's like, what is that thing that Zach does every month?
When he abandons me with his children for several hours at a time.
but also props to Clayton for like being like, yeah, I am a tot.
Yeah.
Like, owning it, you know.
Props, Clayton. We appreciate
I mean,
it.
according to him.
Yeah,
We'll get Kate's side on it.
If he was like, no, I don't know. I denied. Clayton denied us 3 times before the research show.
Clayton, if your side of the story is true, I hope that you become one of the Fingerling 9.
Yes.
Clayton, I hope you pay. I hope you pay us money.
An exorbitant amount of
Clayton,
money.
I hope that every time you think about me, you Venmo me $1.
I wonder if you can gift like tiers, like to people.
I would imagine you can.
Like I would be down to like gift like some of these people that we know like a tier on Patreon.
Like Tom.
You can just Venmo him like $5 and
that's true. That's one way to do it.
This is like when
So that I'm paying myself.
when a kid buys his parents a gift.
Yeah.
And it's like, here's $20. Go buy me something, please.
But at least a percentage of it Patreon gets. So I'm
my parents were really smart about that, and that they would just take us to the 99-cent store and have us pick out
Nice.
gifts for each other.
I think
Nice.
sometimes my dad would just maybe not buy. My dad would like take me to like a jewelry store and I'd be like, I'm buying this for my mom, and then it'd just be like, that's my dad's gift to my mom, and it doesn't count at all.
my parents would just like pick out nice things for themselves and be like, oh, you're gonna buy me this. And then like
That's
we
a
would
good
get
way to do
a
it,
say
too.
from us, but then they actually got what they wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my mom has like is still like an outdoor swing that was like really expensive that my dad probably was planning on buying her anyways, and was like, "Do you want to give her this for Mother's Day?" There's no way I even thought about doing that. I was 8 probably.
I got to be honest. I have literally zero recollection of this ever happening to me. I'm
Really?
certain it did, but I have no recollection of it.
There's a solid episode of Malcolm in the Middle where it's their mom's birthday and she gives them money, and then one of them buys her like a motorcycle magazine, and one of them buys her a contact lens case, and she doesn't wear glasses, and then they buy a bunch of candy for themselves. And that's what I feel like it is.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's jump into the facts of this movie. It was directed by James Wan, written by Chris Morgan and Gary Scott Thompson, released April 3rd, 2015, runtime of 137 minutes. Rotten Tomatoes gave this 81%. It is the highest rated from Rotten Tomatoes. IMDb gave it a 7.1. Big box office, $1.5 billion. That's with a B on a budget of $190 million. So even though they spent $190 million, they had 8x return on that, and then of course was not nominated.
I just got you continue to crush the game in box office.
I do. I was messing with our sheet today, and I was like looking at season 4, and I'm like, okay, I'm losing like all these categories in season 4. I'm like, our ratings like 20 points behind. Rotten Tomatoes like 30 points behind. And like IMDb, it was like a full 2 points, or 20 points behind. And then it gets to budget and box office, and I'm like, still the remaining two.
Yeah, that I tried to export this sheet and plug it into something else to make a fun little dashboard, and there's so much going on here. Like there's so many columns that I was like, what? It's like Jake 1, Jake 2, Jake 3, Jake 4, and what I don't know what any of them are, but yeah, it's just a little bit crazy. I appreciate the work you've put into this.
It's because I built it before I fully knew a lot of different formulas, and so I overbuilt it with the formulas I knew to make it work. I could go back and make it a much simpler and easier sheet now if I wanted to, but right now it's like, it works.
You don't have to. It works. I don't think you need to reinvent the wheel. I just didn't realize how much you had done to this until I exported this into a...
We have, for our listeners, we have 20 columns visible on this sheet, but it goes all the way to BE, which means it went through the alphabet 2 full times in columns. So there are 52, 54 columns in this.
Yeah, Scott's done a lot of work.
Well, B actually starts the 3rd time.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So it went through 2 full times. So that's 52 plus a few more.
Yeah.
56 probably. 56 columns in this sheet, Scott, that you have.
Yeah.
That you're tracking data on.
Well, it's all for us because we don't really share any of it.
It's shared to my sister and the deceased Dan and some other person who I have no idea who they are.
Tammy Van Dorn.
Yeah. Yep.
She probably does not access.
She does not have access to
that's
it
right,
anymore.
because she doesn't have that email address anymore.
Yep. Well, Scott, we were all late bloomers to this, so
Yep,
I'll
all 4 of
let
us.
you pick in what order we give our reactions.
I want to jump to Zach first.
Why?
Because the last movie was a high for us.
Yeah.
Like 6. Like me and you basically like virtual high-fived across this giant table.
We did.
All of us like 6 the best.
No, you were still talking whatever about it. I just listened to the episode today.
You said it sucked.
Oh, yeah, they all suck, but it like sucks in a fun way.
Zach and I were like legitimately excited. And then Tyler was like, yeah, I agree. Like I was bought in, but like...
But not like you guys.
But yeah, Tyler was like, I actually liked 5 more, but like 6, yeah, good.
Tyler also said he was checked out by the beginning of the
That's true. Like in the first 20 minutes.
But Zach and I both were like, this is the most fun we've had. This is what we've been waiting for.
Yeah.
Like lots of fun. And this now is supposed to be a step up from that. And so I want to like immediately come to you and hear like, does it live up to the hype? How did you feel about this movie? Like, what was your experience?
Well, does it live up to the hype? I don't know if it does. I don't know if I felt like this was a step up from the last. I liked it probably just as much. And so that being said, I still had like a ton of fun with it, and I still really liked it. This and the last one have been my two favorite ones for sure. But I don't know if I thought that this was really that much better than 6.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that they were, in a lot of ways, just the exact same movie. So, which I was happy to get. I didn't want anything different, really. So, I liked it a lot still. I had a ton of fun with it. How do you feel about it, Scott?
Yeah, I felt like it was a step back, honestly.
Really?
Like, I thought 6 was a lot more fun than this one.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like, this for me was kind of like back to 5.
Wow. Interesting. Okay. I'm kind of surprised
and
to hear that.
I think 6 was like a step ahead. I felt like this one just had less good stuff going on. I don't know.
Okay.
Like, it was less fun to me. I felt like the chemistry wasn't as good from the characters. I don't know. Like, it just didn't play as well for me. I it's not like, Tokyo Drift or anything.
Yes. Yeah.
But I think I enjoyed 6 a lot more.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to hearing us unpack that a little bit.
Yeah. Jake, how about you?
I agree with you. I think it was a step back from 6. I think I liked 6 better than I liked this movie. That said, I did finally get my rock bottom. So this is the best movie. I'm going to rate it higher because I could finally smell what The Rock was cooking. And that said, I don't think it was as fun, but I liked it significantly better than any movie but 6. Like I had more fun with it than 1 through 5. I did not have as much fun with it as I did with 6.
Okay.
Real quick before I come to you, Tyler, I just wanted to give a shout out to my friend Julian, who I posted on social today about because today's the day that
we're recording,
but 6 came out today.
Oh, the day we're recording is the anniversary of the release of 6?
Our 6.
Our episode came out.
RP's release of 6 was today.
I understand now. I understand.
Yesterday, and I threw something on social, and then my friend Julian, who I've talked about on the pod, is a huge fan.
Huge fan.
And so he just replied to it and said, I personally think I should be your chief Fast and Furious correspondent on the basis of my child's middle name is Toretto. And I did not know that.
What? He named his child with the middle name of Toretto.
I guess.
He's the guy from Fast 5.
You are Vince, Julian. I just want you to know you are Vince. And I hope you take that with all of the sincerity and the compliment that I mean when I say that you are Vince.
Scott, you had in an early episode said that your friends love these movies, but they know they're bad. Does Julian know that these are bad?
I think so, but
I don't know.
I also said we're recording episode Fast 7 tonight. Do you have anything?
Yeah, let's hear what Julian had to say.
I said, recording that tonight, any notes on Fast 7? And he said, God's Eye equals top tier MacGuffin name, which I don't know if it's a full MacGuffin. Like, we kind of see it.
It's sort of a MacGuffin. It's a MacGuffin.
He said, See You Again should have won Best Original Song at the Oscars.
Oh, good Lord. Okay.
The stunt where Brian runs up the side of the bus and then jumps and grabs Letty's fender is so sick.
The stunt that they stole from Uncharted 2.
Yeah.
Well, Uncharted came out after this, right?
No.
Uncharted 2 did not.
Oh, okay.
He said they actually dropped cars out of airplanes and had skydivers film it.
Oh, that's crazy.
I do know that.
I
Yeah,
didn't
that
know
is
that.
crazy.
That's crazy.
The Rock is in the hospital with his daughter, sees an explosion in the distance, and instantly just goes, Toretto. Then he jumps in an ambulance through a drone off the 110. I think that was just something he liked.
Just him recapping the movie.
He said, Long live Han. And then he said, that's off the top of his head. And then he gave me like his rankings of the movies in order.
Okay.
Which I'll share.
Just tell us where this one sits.
Tell us where this one sits. Save the rest for Patreon.
He said any order of these 3 is okay for top 3. He said 5, 1, and 7.
Wow. Okay.
So he would say 5, 1, and 7 are the top 3.
Okay.
And then he said X is the one that just came out is the worst.
The worst one.
I mean, to be honest with you, Julian, you and I have we've traded bouts on different movies over the years and different filmmakers and what they're best at and what they're not the best at. I fully agree with you, Julian.
He gave 6 the number 4 spot,
Oh, okay. Got it.
but I would say 6 for me so far is in the 1 spot out of the first 7.
I would say for me that 5, 1, and 7 any of them could be my favorite
Mm-hmm.
so far, and for sure 10 is the worst.
So with all that, just shout out to Julian. But Tyler, what was your experience like? Did 7 live up to the highest rating hype that we've been talking about?
It didn't for me. It really didn't.
It superseded it.
That is something
I like that
would
voice.
do. That is something I would do, but that's not what I'm doing right now. It really didn't live up to it for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought this was really good. I liked it. I mean, again, compared to like Citizen Kane, no, it's a terrible movie. But compared to Independence Day, yeah, it's a really good movie. You know, like
I would watch Independence Day again before I'd watch this again.
no, I would watch him for me personally. I would watch him the same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I like
I
Independence.
think I'd watch all of these movies before Independence Day.
I think you could watch all of these movies in the time it took. What's his name? The president to give a speech.
Bill
Good
Pullman.
speech.
Rip Bill Pullman? Did Bill Pullman die? Or
I
is
don't
he
think
still
Bill
alive?
Pullman
I think
is
he's alive.
dead.
Okay, all right.
Are you thinking of Bob Paxton?
I was thinking of Bill Paxton.
Yeah, Bill
I was
Paxton.
thinking of
You're
Bill
not thinking about Bob Barker, who just
Yeah,
died.
no,
He died.
Bob Barker.
Oh, that's
He
what I was
died.
thinking
He
of.
died.
Bob Barker. Yeah.
But Bill Paxton also died
Yeah, Bill Paxton.
several years ago, and that's exactly who I was thinking. The wrong Bill. Yeah, no, I liked this. I mean, I had a fun time. I think this is a very fun movie, and I feel like they have done a good job over the last several movies at giving me really fun movies. Like 5, 6, and 7, I really do think are very fun. And I arrived at an observation that I want to run past you guys watching this movie. About, I don't know, toward the end of this movie, where they're starting to get like in the third act, where they're starting to get a little emotional about things, you know?
Yeah.
And especially, I think, between Mia and Paul Walker. And even just Vin and that whole thing, like they're all settling down, and it's like, you know, these montages and everything like that. And
Yes.
at the very end of the movie, all of that made me realize that that Fast and Furious is just Twilight for boys.
That feels accurate.
I don't know if I'm on board with that. I need you to unpack that a little bit.
I don't need you to.
I appreciate
Say
that
less.
so much, Jake. I appreciate that so much. No, it's Twilight for boys. Look, okay, it's really bad. And we all know and agree it's really bad. But we also know and agree that we love it in spite of it being poor filmmaking or poor storytelling, because it's just something communal and it's something that we can all resonate around. And it's just fun. And yeah, there are plot holes, and yeah, there's bad acting, and yeah, there's super bad dialogue, and yeah, there's sometimes bad special effects. But it doesn't matter. That's not the point. And girls don't watch Twilight for the special effects or the acting or the story even. They just, it's just a moment in time that they saw something, a movie or read a book that they really loved and that they felt like they connected with in some way, maybe even a small way. And then everyone just collectively became obsessed about it. And to be honest with you, I don't hate Twilight. Like I kind of like Twilight for what it is. I don't think it's a great film, but I get what it's for. I get what it is, and I like it.
Twilight.
And I feel the exact same way about Fast and Furious. It's just Twilight for boys.
I think that's interesting, because Twilight is something that I think it's not for me. I don't think anything was surprised when I said Twilight's not for me. But I'm glad that it's out there for the people that like it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm glad that people really like it. And so that's interesting. Like, I've never resented Fast and Furious for being out there, but I am. Like, I don't think Fast and Furious is made for me.
I feel like you
wish
have
it was.
resented it. No, quite a few times.
I've kind of resented that I had to watch it.
He resents Vin Diesel.
okay.
not
He
the-
resents Vin Diesel
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, I've kind of resented that I had to watch it. But yeah, no, I can see that 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, like as soon as he said it, I was like, that tracks.
And I'm okay with that. And
Yeah.
and I love it. And watching this movie, I was like, oh yeah, this is just Twilight for boys. And so yeah, you know, like the cheesy, weird, like, you know, ending. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't matter. That's not the point. It's fine. Let it go.
I can kind of see it where like wrestling. Like wrestling, I think is soap operas for men.
Yeah.
And I loved it. And I still love it. I don't watch it, but I love that it's out there and I love that people love it. And it's just so silly and weird. And I think that this is the same thing.
I'm thrilled that at least one of us, but especially you.
I'm going to throw out a different comparison, and some of you guys might hate this. I think it's Harry Potter, but instead of magic, it's cars.
What? I need you to unpack that.
It's like it starts with like this young group of people, and like you understand that they like it's just like basic cars when it first starts out, and then somehow like a few movies in, like they're doing stuff with cars that you're like, how are they doing this stuff? Like the whole like they fought a tank, and like they're doing this stuff, and it's the same thing with Harry Potter. Like they're like 5 movies in, and it's like you're still only like 14, but you're doing all these sophisticated spells and stuff. And so I think for me, it's more like that than like Twilight.
I don't know. I think as a Harry Potter fan, I think I disagree.
I knew it would upset you guys, but
It doesn't upset me. I just don't. I don't see where you're coming from.
And
I
I will
don't smell what
say,
you're cooking.
I will say, I do think my comparison is going to draw no real anger from men who are at least secure with the fact that, like, yeah, we can like dumb stuff too. I think that the complaint is going to come from women on what I said. I think the complaint is going to come from the 3 of us on what you said.
Oh, for sure. I knew you would disagree.
I think that the complaint is going to come from the Harry Potter fans who are incapable of experiencing the world through anything but Harry Potter, which is, I think Harry Potter is.
They don't listen to us.
That's probably true. Yeah, all right. I don't need to say anything else that I was going to say. That's true.
No, you can say what you're going to say.
No, I think Harry Potter has the worst fan base. And I think that they are just incapable of seeing the world through any other lens. Like I saw this post on Reddit, like this is a couple years ago now, but it was like about some like terrible person who like beat their children, and it was like it made news. And then somebody in the comments was like, "Oh my gosh, they deserve to be crucioed." And I was like, you are reading this and thinking about Harry Potter? Like, that's what I feel like the Harry Potter fandom is. And I feel like they're coming for you. They're going to crucio you.
Here's the thing.
You're
though.
going to get
I think-
cruciatus curse.
I think Fast and Furious fans also do that.
No, you're probably
Maybe,
right.
yeah.
You're probably right on that.
Yeah,
on
I'm not saying that. I'm
I
not
just
saying that
don't
you're
think
wrong.
They say things
Yeah.
like that.
I'm just saying that you might have incurred the wrath of a lot of nerds.
Yeah,
I don't think you should be worried.
We've already incurred the wrath of Fast fans. Are you really going to tempt fate
Yeah, well, we're never going to do the Harry
Furious
Potters.
with the Harry Potter, the furiousness of the Harry Potter fans?
Although we've talked about doing the Harry Potters all together as like a bonus episode.
We talked about it when, and maybe we will when HBO releases their show, but like we talked about doing it when they were releasing a bunch of like Harry Potter content. It was culturally relevant at the time. It's not anymore.
All that being said, we can stop comparing it to other sagas.
That's fair.
What did you guys? You guys kind of agreed with what I had said, so I'm interested. Like, what were the things that didn't quite work for you that worked maybe last time, or like what were the things that made it feel like lackluster?
I will say, and Tyler touched on this, this movie was so much more sappy than the last one.
Yeah.
And that was, if I had to rank this, which I mean, I guess I'm going to, but if I had to pick one to be better than the other, I would then probably pick 6 as better than this one because the sappiness just didn't work for me. And I think that maybe I had more fun with this one up until the third act in this film, and the third act really fell flat for me. And everything at the end, and it's interesting, going online and reading people's reactions to this movie, just to see how sentimental and emotional people were about Paul Walker at the time.
Oh, totally.
When he passed away, and just how impactful the ending of this film was for a lot of people. That just was not even a little bit impactful for me.
$1 billion worth of people.
Yeah,
$1.5 billion worth of people.
It's crazy, just that I just cannot relate to something so much.
I think
that all really just didn't work for me. I thought it was just a slog to get through, and was not good. It was very boring.
Yeah, I think it's just a very short-sighted decision, I guess, for the longevity of the movie. Probably not for the immediate box office. That probably drove it through the roof. But it was people, and I guess I can understand this, people who love Paul Walker in what is their favorite movie series are kind of grieving the death of Paul Walker, and then they get this catharsis through the movie. But that's not anything that's going to last for any future viewers, because Paul Walker's death isn't super relevant right now.
Right.
Yeah. But then how else could they do it? Because they'd have to address it in some form.
I think they can address it without it being as sappy and weird as it was.
Without us having the real montage.
Yeah.
Of all of the times that they've been on screen together.
Yeah, that just feels on brand.
It does feel on brand.
No.
I think it feels short-sighted for
we got a montage in the last movie.
Did we get a montage in the
Yeah,
last
it's how it opened.
Yeah, but not like this. It wasn't a montage. This was a graduation slideshow sappy level of
I agree.
If they would have played Time of Your Life, I wouldn't have been surprised.
That would have fit really well.
I 100% agree. I just I wouldn't have expected that level of sophistication in planning this film and the franchise.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road.
That would have been better than the song we got. I'll be honest, sorry, Julian, but that song is garbage.
So it's so funny.
The song is terrible.
I do love it for the memes.
I watched this movie with my roommate, who loves Fast and Furious.
He's a car guy, though, right?
He is a car guy, big gearhead. And I will say he's very aware that they're bad movies. He has no delusions that they're well-made movies, but he loves them. He has nostalgia for them. He watched them continuously.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't. And he was we finished the movie and he was like, dude, I really want to watch the special music video that they made for this movie. And so we watched that and he got emotional watching it. It was a really big deal at the time for those people.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to talk down on those people.
I know you're not. I'm underscoring what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's crazy that I can just have so much the opposite reaction to that part of the movie and that aspect of what happened.
Yeah, I couldn't care less.
Yeah,
frankly, it ruined a decent movie for me.
But not even just the Paul Walker of it all. Also, just seeing the fact that Dom and Mia actually were married and just their wedding.
Dom and
Letty. Yeah, did I say Mia?
I feel like that'd be
his sister.
That's an Alabama. That's an Alabama story.
That was Bama Boy.
Yeah,
Bama Boy, not who we got to see.
I want to talk about that.
Yeah, I can't wait.
78 years old.
So old.
That's what I have.
Can we just talk about Bama Boy now?
Bama Boy. Go. I have a couple notes on this movie, and one of them is that Bama Boy is the oldest one in the crew somehow. Bama Boy,
18 years old.
Bama Boy is fresh out of high school, and somehow looks older than Ben Diesel, who's looked 50 his entire life.
It looks like he's been getting curb stomped by some turkeys or something.
I love that they just didn't even attempt to make him look young.
Yeah, like they made Brad Pitt look 16.
I kind of respected the decision. I was like, well, we know this isn't going to work. Just roll with it.
He's got bags under his eyes, a receding hairline.
Yeah,
It's
like,
I love that,
shot
but I
out.
love that we see him in Tokyo Drift seconds before.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that it's so obvious how old he is
How
now.
old he is.
Uh-huh.
I literally,
Tokyo Drift. I know.
I literally said out loud, that mother is supposed to be 18.
Oh my gosh, that was one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Oh my gosh, that was literally too much for me to handle.
Yeah.
It was over the top.
And I feel like that's one of those scenes where I feel like fans of the movie are like, oh, it was so cool. We finally see it connected. And like, I couldn't help but be like, man, this is so bad.
Just ignore it. Just ignore Tokyo
I
Drift
feel like-
ever
I
happened.
feel like this is-
Forget it. Let it go.
Is this the first time, Scott, you've admitted that something about the Fast franchise has been bad?
No,
I
think
haven't rated some of the
Yeah.
other ones. They're very good.
In fairness to Scott, I think that he's been genuine.
He's
Yeah.
been,
I think-
appropriately
yeah.
rating these
Yeah.
movies.
Earnest.
Yeah.
I mean, I of course like talk it up and say it's the greatest. Of course it's not.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, of course, like Tokyo Drift was just bad.
Yeah.
2F was bad.
I think there was something that happened earlier in this movie that I think was a questionable choice, which was the return of Race Wars, which I just
interesting.
I just feel like they could have, like, after the first movie been like, you know what, Race Wars was a bad name, and we need to get away from Race Wars as a brand. You know? And then they're like, oh, we're going back to Race Wars, and we're revealing that Dom started Race Wars, which is so funny to me.
Yeah, that's very funny.
That's a great point.
Yeah, like Dom started Race Wars, and we're embracing that.
All of the race wars that we're experiencing today, Dom Toretto.
Yeah, he
Well,
started
and
them.
before we move on, how did you feel about Iggy Azalea popping up?
I don't even think I noticed her.
I didn't notice her.
Was she the one that waved him in?
No.
She was the one that like was hyping Letty up after the win.
Yeah.
Like, it's great to see you
Oh,
around
yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I mean, like she had maybe 2 lines, and it was some of the worst acting I feel like I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm familiar enough with Iggy Azalea to recognize her.
Yeah, I wouldn't. If you put her in a lineup of 10 people, I wouldn't.
If you put her in a room with me right now, I wouldn't say, is that Iggy Azalea?
You would be like,
yeah.
is that Scott?
I'm disappointed I was able to recognize her.
I knew it was her.
Yeah.
So
Did you know, or did Carla have to tell you?
I watched this by myself, actually.
Oh, because she's been watching these with you.
She has been. This was the first one she didn't watch with me.
Oh,
But it's
okay.
just, I had to get him in and she wasn't available.
Got it. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, sometimes we have to do some crazy things for you,
Uh-huh.
Tots.
honey, stop what you're doing.
Yeah.
Please come home and watch Fast 7.
It was like,
I know you're working. We have to watch Fast 7.
like, stop prepping for all these life changes. Come watch Fast 7 with me.
Stop studying for your graduate degree.
Yeah.
Come watch Fast 7.
You can retake that test. You can't watch this with me for the first time.
Okay, Paul Walker. Should they have killed him off in this?
Yes. They should
Like,
have killed him.
Yeah.
I know he died in real life, and like maybe, and it's a car movie, so like I think I understand why they
It
chose
could
not
be
to.
traumatic, yeah, but they should have killed him.
But I feel like to just not like he was just written off, I guess.
Because now he has 2 kids that he's just now like a derelict father to.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought he just went off to be like a good dad. That was his arc. He's just like
Not
like
at
a,
least
like a
by
bum.
10.
That's nuts that they decided to
10,
do
Mia's
that.
in this, and he's just like, they don't even mention him.
So
Wait,
Mia
what?
comes around and they're like, "Where's Brian?" And they're like, "Oh, he's just."
Maybe
just
they
not
write him
even-
off in the next one or something.
I think that sometime in the next couple of movies, they like give something to,
Okay,
like,
because
But
I was
something is that he's a deadbeat dad.
basically.
because I was
guess.
about to disagree with you guys, but with that new information, yeah, I guess they should have killed him. I don't know. Let's not get ahead
like
of this.
he
movie.
might not. They might not see him as a deadbeat dad, but he's alive and not around.
Let's.
That's a weird choice. That's a weird choice.
not considering anything further than this movie, I would say no. I think they made the right decision to not kill him off.
I think that if he goes off to be a good dad, I think it's fine to leave him out of the rest of the movies and to leave all of his kids and Mia out of the rest of the movies.
100%.
I think that that's fine. If they don't,
I agree.
If they don't make the decision that they did make, I would say don't kill him off. This is fine. But knowing that they decided to make him like a deadbeat dad, kill him off instead of that.
Like half of Fast X is protecting Mia and her kids because they're going after her because of Brian.
I guess then, like,
But they're not going after Brian.
No.
If we could just change the writing of this, I would say
He had to have died off in a different one, and he was.
That's
Yeah,
what
that's
I'm
that's a
guessing.
wild-
I'm just guessing
that's
that has
such
to
a
happen.
mistreatment of like maybe the most beloved character.
so much
in
more
this
disrespectful,
franchise.
to be
Yeah,
honest,
yeah.
than if they would have just killed him off. Yeah, I doubt that this would happen. I'll look into it.
I'm sure we'll find out eventually.
I'm legitimately assuming that sometime in the next 2 movies they explain that Brian died. But
Or that he just became a schizophrenic.
as of my experience right now with the Fast and Furious movies,
I think if you're going to kill him off screen, why not kill him in this movie?
right?
Like, that's weird.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree completely. They should have killed him.
And I felt the same way about Leia in the Star Wars movies.
Oh, they definitely. That was terrible.
Yeah,
They
should've
had
killed her then.
they had the opportunity to kill her so
Didn't
easily.
they kill her?
They killed her in 9,
Eventually.
not in.
But not
in
before
8.
they
She died during 8
Yeah, but
she-
not.
Yeah, in real life.
in real
Yeah.
life, but they took filming from.
And she also
8,
died in the movie in 8.
kind of.
But then she like pulled herself back into
But
the
then she
spaceship.
somehow
yeah, they
forced
could. They
herself.
should have just actually.
Sorry.
We're not. here
I
about
have another thing about Fast Furious 7 that I want to give to you guys. I had this in my notes. I think, and this is probably a hot take, I think this could have been a very fun horror movie. I thought this when they were at the funeral for Han, I believe, and Luda was talking to Brian, and he's like, they're hunting us down one by one. And then he said something like, no more coffins or whatever. And I thought, man, the horror movie where they're all being hunted down would have been kind of fun.
Yeah,
What do you
I
guys
like
think
that.
about that?
I
like
like
lots
that.
of like chases and that kind
Yeah.
of stuff.
I think that would have been a fun movie.
What's funny is I legitimately thought about earlier because I changed my Spooktober pick. I thought about Googling like scary car movies.
Joyride.
Herbie Fully Loaded.
No, it's just Joyride. It's Joyride and all the sequels.
I don't even know what
Joyride
Joyride
is a
is.
legitimate like.
Oh
horror
yeah,
movie.
it's a legitimate horror movie, Joyride. It's scary. I mean, but it's old movie scary.
Uh-huh.
Like, so it's not scary.
Should I
Did it-
change
did it-
from my Academy Award pick to?
No, please.
I
don't.
love Joyride. I think it's a very fun horror film.
Didn't
like,
Stephen King write a book that I think they made a movie about, like a demented car or something like that?
you're
do Kirby.
you're talking about
Like,
Herbie?
Good.
Oh, Herbie.
It's too Kirby.
Dude, Kirby's Epic Yarn. Let's all play that game.
oh, what's the name of the car? It was sort of about. It was inspired by the car that killed James Dean,
Oh, okay.
and that car had a name, and I think Stephen King just ripped off that name, and it wasn't Christine. So I think if I remember right, Stephen King was inspired by the real life death of James Dean from what appeared to be a cursed car accident. Like there's no good explanation for it. And Stephen King was like, oh, it's a really interesting idea. And he created the exact same car that James Dean died in. Like I think it's a Porsche 911 was Christine.
Huh.
So yeah, Christine, that counts, but I don't think there's a good Christine movie.
I don't know. No idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm going through my notes about the movie, and I have one more thing that I think is worth mentioning. Scott, did you miss a writing credit for the Corona Corporation? Did Corona write this movie?
There's been Corona stuff in like the last 4 movies.
But this one was so much.
It was very
about
aggressive.
Corona.
Yeah, very aggressive.
Like The Rock is like hurt and like maybe dying, and he's like, Dom, you need to stop drinking Corona and drink this Belgian ale. And then Dom's like, I would rather die than drink anything but a Corona.
What was the scene that like someone asks for something and they offer something really great and then they like pick up a bucket of Corona.
Sorry, it was Mr. Nobody.
Mr.
It wasn't
Nobody.
The
Mr.
Rock.
Nobody, yeah.
He's
yeah.
got like a Belgian ale on draft.
Yeah,
And
right.
No,
And then
Corona
Tom's like,
only.
no, I need this bucket of Corona.
yeah.
I need to find my beach. I think is what he said.
How did you guys feel about Kurt Russell?
I liked him.
I liked him.
Yeah, I thought
it
it was fine. I like Kurt Russell in general, and it was fun. I don't know why he had an army of stormtroopers who couldn't hit anything, but he was fun.
Yeah, he felt like to me a lot like Ego in Guardians.
Yeah.
Guardians 2. Like a similar kind of villain. Like he played it the exact same way.
Do you think that Mr. Nobody was a villain in this?
No, but it's the same kind of character.
Yeah, I think he's. I guess I see what you mean. When you said a similar kind of villain, I was wondering what you.
Sorry, I just meant character. Like like I might have misspoke. The villain in Guardians 2 is the same character as Mr. Nobody in this one.
I didn't love Guardians 2, so I haven't watched it since it came out. So I don't know that my memory is fresh enough, but I feel like I see what you mean.
He's just like he pawns off serious things very like nonchalantly. Like that's his shtick. That's his whole personality. Is he pawns off really serious things nonchalantly. Like and then I killed your mother, like nonchalantly. Like it's the same character to me. And like I don't hate him in it. I like Kurt Russell, but I don't feel like it was like oh my god, like such an inspired role by Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Like, there are like I've talked with you guys a lot about like I have a deep love for Bond movies, but like it's not like most of the villains were Javier Bardem. You know what I mean? Like that was chilling. Most Bond villains aren't like that.
Yeah.
And like Kurt Russell played this role, like, yeah, he wasn't a villain, but like he played the role just very, I don't know, archetypal. Like it wasn't new or interesting. It was super derivative.
It was fine. Which I don't think there's anything new or interesting in any of these movies. So it's not like he underperformed.
But I would give credit that Kurt Russell could have brought something like that.
Yeah,
I think some of the stunts are maybe kind of new and interesting.
Okay, what do you mean?
Well, like driving the car through building to building. Like that was
super dope.
They actually did that.
That was cool.
They sort of did it.
That was a pretty cool.
Like I think that's these movies' strengths. Like these ridiculously over the top, stupid, but like very fun to watch set pieces.
I will say this did remind me a lot of what we just reviewed, Mission Impossible, with that scene where I was like, this scene makes the movie.
Yeah.
And I felt the same thing about the Burj Khalifa scene in Mission Impossible 4, where I was like, the whole thing's just okay, but this makes it awesome. And I felt the same way about this movie.
And similarly, the only reason they went to the Middle East was so that they could have these tall buildings to drive fancy cars.
Sure.
To do what, like the only reason they went to the Middle East was to have Tom Cruise climb the Burj Khalifa. And the only reason they did that was for some plausibility for the scene.
I think it makes more sense in Mission Impossible because and granted, you haven't seen a ton of the movies, but most of the time he's all over the globe. Where like Fast and Furious, like they're actually not spies. Like Scott's made this comparison off podcast a few times. Like when did the Fast and Furious crew become expert spies?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they went from like, oh, we tune our own cars to like, now we're operating God's Eye.
But you know what? This franchise does kind of globetrot a little bit too. And that's actually something I've kind of had fun with is like we start in LA and then we're in Miami and Tokyo and then Rio and Mexico. Japan, I already said Tokyo, and then now Abu Dhabi. It's in London. It's always kind of fun to see like where are they going to end up this time? And it doesn't make sense at all. And I think, Jake, you're right. They only ended up there so they could drive cars from tall building to tall building. But like that's why up until things got very sappy in the last act, I actually thought this movie was maybe more fun than the last one.
Yeah, I would say Act 1 and 2, I was having a lot of fun.
I loved when they back out their cars out of the plane. And then that whole bit when they do kind of rip off Uncharted a little bit. I still had a ton of fun with, and I loved everything in Abu Dhabi. I had a ton of fun with this movie. I mean, I thought it was stupid that Jason Statham just kept popping up everywhere they were, but it was fun. It's like, okay, when's he coming? Like,
Yeah, it was like he was also like, I was like, how does he keep getting out of these scenarios? Like,
when I did, okay, so wait,
so many times they could have just pulled the trigger.
Yeah, like our opening audio clip. I was like, oh, they could have just shot him.
He would have been gone.
Yeah.
Also, you cut off the audio like right before one of my favorite lines, and he's like, "Well, I got a lot of friends."
Yeah.
Jason Statham had some great one-liners in this movie.
He did. He really did. And he was a compelling character. I see why they spun him off.
I liked when he said, "You thought this was going to be a street fight?"
Right. Yep. That was great. And then Vin brought it back at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a good callback. I like the callback. The fight between them was
Not great.
not great.
Especially because Vin is like, oh, I have this gun. I'm going to unload it into the air and not shoot.
yeah.
you with
Well,
it.
and then Vin pulls out like two of just the biggest wrenches.
Yeah, who
time.
needs that kind of mechanical advantage?
And that was what was disappointing about this movie too. Is like we have a great set piece up in the mountains, and then we have a great set piece in Abu Dhabi, and then the hot potato part in LA was like kind of boring.
It was, yeah.
I didn't think it was very exciting.
Also, in that scene, I think is the dumbest, but also the funnest part of this movie is when The Rock decides that he just isn't. It doesn't need to be in the hospital, and he flexes out of his cap.
That is pretty great.
Yeah, but then I think about it, and I'm like, oh wait, you didn't need to be there the whole time. Like you were sidelined for no reason. You were just letting them do this. But also, it was pretty cool.
Not hooked up to any monitors or lines or anything.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he could have broken that cast at any point.
Yeah, he didn't need it. Like his arm was so fine that he grabs a minigun off of a destroyed drone and then just operates it.
How long was he in the hospital? Like how many
It
days?
felt like a long time.
It felt like a long time. I don't think it was that long. Like the whole movie probably takes place over what, a couple of weeks?
That's a long time.
That's a long time.
If you just have a broken arm,
That's a long time to be in the
But
hospital.
that's not a
Already
long
casted?
time. That's not a long time to have your arm heal.
No.
No, it's not. But you don't need to be in the
But he
hospital.
was in the hospital for too long.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
he's
will
just got
say-
really good insurance.
I will say that when Vin goes to visit him in the hospital, I know this is like a medical professional nitpick, but I watched the monitor and just one of the values, there was so much variability that he should have been dead.
I have another nitpick of this movie related to The Rock, actually from I guess my IT profession. But The Rock absolutely deserved to have his information stolen for walking away from his computer while it was unlocked.
Yeah.
He absolutely should have locked his computer before he left.
Yeah.
100%.
And that breach is entirely his fault.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
But the fight with him and Hobbs afterwards was so cool.
Yeah.
I
That
loved it.
was when we got the rock bottom.
I will say
Yeah.
that this movie did not have enough rock in it. And on the last episode, I think some of you guys, I don't remember who, were a little down on The Rock. I think he's my favorite character in this franchise.
I said in the last movie that his dialogue was just so too cheesy for me.
Okay.
I felt like it was a lot better this time.
I wonder if I was thinking about this. I wonder if we liked The Rock better in this movie because we had less of him.
Oh, you might be right.
Like maybe if we get a lot of Rock, it's like, oh, I don't want this much of this character.
I will say though, I actually like The Rock as an actor.
I don't like The Rock as an actor.
I do, but I think you might be right that we might both like it for the same reasons, but for different.
It's kind of like Creed in The Office. I feel like where like I think that he is the funniest character in that show. But if I had more of him than we got, I would be like, oh, I don't want this. But I think I want it.
I kind of agree with you, Tyler, that I actually do think The Rock has some charisma, and I think he's kind of fun. I think he can be a fun actor. But I disagree with you guys in that, like, I actually really enjoy when he's a part of the team. And that's maybe one reason I like Six a lot. I find him so much more enjoyable to watch than Tej, than Roman, than even Han, than Gal Gadot.
I'm sorry, wait, Tej was on the bottom of that list? Tej is ludicrous, right?
Tej is my least favorite character.
Oh, yeah, no.
But also,
Tej is such a lame, dumb character.
I think The Rock
Tej is up there for me.
can have a lot of charisma. I loved The Rock as a wrestler. I think he was so charismatic and so fun. I just don't think that he's that fun as an actor. And I don't think he's that fun as a wrestler anymore either.
And that's fair, but I tend to agree with Zach. Like, I did like him in this movie. a lot. I liked him a lot more than the last movie. I really liked him being a part of the team.
Yeah.
Like, I really liked him becoming in this movie part of Dom's family. And I thought it was a lot of fun. I liked that part of this movie for sure.
I'm getting a little tired of the whole like Roman says something dumb and Tej puts him in his place and proves that he's the smart, cool guy.
Yeah, you know what? I liked that in the last movie, and I think I agree. I think we get it.
I thought
Tej
it
is
was
pretty low for me.
I
too.
thought it was wild that they're just like making Roman out to be the biggest baby in the world for not wanting to back his car out of a plane. They're all like so chill with it.
I did like that scene, and I liked that Tej had built in a plan for that. Just because he knew that Roman was not going to be down with it. Like,
Roman was sane and didn't want to back.
Here's the thing: like, do I agree with you that it's reasonable to not want to back your car out of a plane? Sure, but they're superheroes at this point.
I know.
They in this world, it is absolutely unreasonable for Roman to not want to do that.
I also like how Tej is like, oh, I have an idea for that. And his idea is just drop a car out of a plane.
My biggest. Why did they need to do that? They could have just drove up there and hid in the mountain. Anyways,
okay. I have an interesting take. I think that I like Tej. I think maybe for the same reason Jake likes Tej, but Jake likes Tej for the same reason that he likes Data.
Huh?
What is it?
Data, his whole like purpose in Goonies was to have solutions to other people's poor planning, and I think that's what Tej does in Fast.
Yeah,
like,
maybe
he's just like he is the Deus Ex Machina a little bit, but only because he's maybe like looking ahead further than other people are, or he's smarter than other people are. I don't know, but
I feel like I'm gonna have to think about that when I watch the next movie. But I feel like you might be right, and also part of me is very amused that Ludacris is that person,
right?
Like the guy, you know, like the creator of Word of Mouth is the man in the chair, and that's very funny.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
All right, what do you guys say we put this one to bed?
Wait, I'm sorry. I have one more thing that I have to say. I don't understand how people that you guys know in your personal life can watch this and the last one and say, I can't defend 6, but 7 is great.
I agree.
I'm
100%.
sorry, Carlos. I'm sorry, Julian. That makes no sense at all.
They're the same. They're very similar, and I don't know why.
I mean, the consensus is this one's worse.
With the 4 of us.
Yeah. But I think in general, like I agree 100%. I don't get it.
I think part of it is I'm assuming those people were all in this at the time when Paul like passed away, and there's like a sentimental and nostalgia value now that's associated with this movie that we don't have.
Okay, but still, what is so much worse about 6? What is so much sillier that can't be defended that this is not as silly?
I think the sappiness that you're talking about lands with them.
I agree.
So that negates all the stupid crap that comes before.
So. Agreed. They have so much emotion about.
Okay, so I'm correct in that it makes 0 sense.
Yeah.
You're 0 sense.
Well, you're 100% correct. I just think I can understand why
it's invalid.
It makes sense. It's just not solely based on
if you give me
the material.
A silly movie, and then you give me an equally silly movie that then the last 20 minutes plays on my nostalgia and say that makes sense, that invalidates everything that comes before, I don't see how that makes any sense.
It's just that it explains why people would
attach and like it more,
have strong feelings towards it.
I think I can understand why people would think that, but it doesn't make logical sense.
Yeah, and I get what you mean. I just
as far as like like the official ratings.
No, it means
the fact that you guys are people, like a couple of you guys had said that people had said 6 is not that good. We can't defend it, but 7 is good. We will die on the hill that 7 is a good movie.
Yeah, that was the thing that we said.
And it's like it's the same movie.
I agree with you 100%. I'm sorry, I have one final nit to pick with the movie. So The Rock in the beginning of the movie, he's in maybe the most high-tech office I've ever seen. And then he's stamping paper files.
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah. It was
Why
weird.
was he doing that?
It was super weird.
Yeah.
It was among the list of weird things. It was in my top 15.
Yeah. It was super weird.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to start off the ratings here since it's mine. I'm going to give this 7.7 billion dollars worth of damage to LA.
It's a lot of damage.
Who's next, Scott? You're always the one who tells us who's next. We're lost without you.
I'm going to go Jake.
I'm going to give this 6.5 rock bottoms.
Tyler.
I'm going to give this 6.7 fatherless children.
Zach.
Can you tell me what I rated the last one?
6. You rated a 6.6.
6.6. Okay, then I will give this 6.5 wife beaters that Vin got married in.
Oh yeah, I thought you were going a whole different direction when you said it. We can't get into it now, but I would love to unpack this is what I could have yelled about. Love to unpack the plot holes that Vin getting married and then immediately leaving his wife in the Dominican Republic opens up, and why he did that.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
We could maybe unpack that another time.
So this comes out to a 69%.
Nice.
Rotten Tomatoes was 81%. IMDb 7.1. So we're definitely more in line with IMDb. This comes out to movie 104 out of 147.
Scott, now that we are deep into the franchise, any regrets?
No regrets.
Scott,
never a regret.
Actually, I'll tell you this offline.
Are you sure you
do you want to get?
Dude, I think this episode is just going to be effed up.
So, Scott, Jake was saying while we were offline, would you be willing to, before this next movie, give us a little bit of a force ranking?
To say like, oh, this is where this movie ranks in our fast rankings. Like, you say this is number whatever out of 146. Say this is our 5th highest ranked.
Yeah, I could do that
movie.
pretty easily.
Yeah, it'd be an interesting thing to include in these.
Mm-hmm.
Especially as we get deep in.
Yeah.
Now
Julian,
that we're
here's the Julian's official rankings. So he has 5, 1, and 7 in his top 3, and he said he's fine with any of order with those 3, and then he goes to 6, then to 4, then to 2, then 8, 3, and 9, and then X. So 2 of his worst movies are still to come in 8 and 9.
It's exciting. He's the expert. But also, I disagree with him. I think 6 is the best one. So maybe 8 and 9 I'll like more.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Yeah,
I very much doubt it.
They're all rated a lot lower.
I very much doubt it.
So while we're here, I have to pee. But how do you guys want to handle the next recording? I feel like I like doing all the Spooktobers together, but we have one before.
Yeah, I was just talking with Zach about that. I think let's do like one remote or a one-off some point. Like maybe we could do like a Thursday dinner and then come and record one or something.
Yeah, I think we're in Moreno Valley for next Thursday dinner.
And then, so I'm fine with a remote or like something like that. And then we'll schedule a time for all the Spooktober.
I have a question, and I assume the answer is going to be no because Zach, you have kids, and that's completely reasonable. But do we want to try to get together as like watch one of the Spooktober movies together and then record? But it's a lot more time, so I assume that's not doable.
I'm going to make an effort because I've promised Scott to. This is like before he ends this. For all you tots, Scott is very afraid of scary movies.
I hate scary movies.
And so for Spooktober, we only now have really one true horror pick, one really, really scary movie, The Conjuring.
Mm-hmm.
And I've committed to Scott that I will watch it with him. So Jake, whenever we do that, you're welcome to come, and Zach, of course, you are too.
If I can make it, I will.
Yeah, but we can just leave that be open.
I'm guessing it'll be
a
Tuesday night when Carla has school.
Cool.
So.
Okay, I can try to make that work. Tuesday's usually a day I go in the office, but I can kind of rearrange that.
All right, Patreon, thank you guys so much. We appreciate
Tater
you.
tots.
You've gotten to see Jake now in this last episode really get into holding his mic.
Do you want to know why I'm doing that? Because I hunched too much in the last recording, and I realized how much I looked like this.
You were just huddled over.
Yeah, so I decided to hold it and not huddle.
But you also, the more you worked up, the more you get worked up in general, you pick up the mic.
Yeah, no, I think that it's going to be good overall. I think that can be my thing.
Okay.
I did it because I realized how stupid this looks.
Well, that's for you guys. So thanks, Patreon. Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.